What is up, everybody? dfsarmy MLB pre-lock show, question mark. It's 9 a.m. Central Time. But we're recording early so that it gives you the opportunity to watch throughout the day leading up to tonight's slate. I won't be around most of the day because it's July 3rd. It's a day full of July 4th festivities around here. Most people are off, so
pretty
good day
pretty
to get everybody together.
Too.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be July 4th festivities tomorrow as well, but nothing wrong with getting out on the lake with a bunch of people all day. I can't turn that down. So, wanted to make sure we got you guys a show to talk about tonight's main slate. Like I said, it does give you all day to watch it. Unfortunately, you can't ask any questions directly unless you are here while we're technically live. But I think Darth is going to be coaching in Discord tonight. I'm not sure if Tattoo will be around at all this evening, but
I'll be intoxicated, but I might catch a whiff of Discord once in a while. But
I may be around occasionally. It really depends on how today progresses. I do have to be an adult. I do have my daughter, so have to be somewhat controlled. But yeah,
Drago, what the hell?
I have all my notes done. What's that?
I said, Drago, what the hell are you doing up?
Drago doesn't sleep. He's like me, but he lives on the West Coast. I think he does.
Yeah, he lives in Cali.
Happy
Morning,
4th, Cujo. Drago. Yeah, he doesn't sleep. I assumed he's a lot like myself. Even though I did go to bed at 10:30 last night in order to wake up at 5:30 this morning to get notes done. But as I was saying, everything I've done is on the site. I think after this, we're done recording this. I just have to publish my article for the day, and then I am done.
Yeah, I don't even have sheets today.
Pending any extreme news. Did you get a chance to look at the slate at all?
A little. I was going through a few different things. Let's see. I think obviously we have some good hitting weather.
Yeah, it's 90 plus in a lot of places.
102 in Washington, which I haven't looked at the slate to know. I'm assuming they start at 7.
They are not on the main slate. There are 2 games that are not on the main slate today.
Wrigley and Washington.
Yep. Which sucks because I guess those are the 2 best offensive environments on the day. Winds blowing straight out in Wrigley, from my understanding. Yeah. Again. But with that said, there's a bunch of other offensive spots this evening. So many offensive spots. What does that do for pitching for us tonight?
From my first look at pitching, it seemed you have very condensed chalk, and ironically, both from the same game.
This is my first look at ownership, like literally live on the screen. Seeing Luis Castillo as super chalk, yeah, really. I shouldn't say super chalk, like the second chalkiest right now. 24%, I guess, technically isn't really super chalk, but I mean, this is the same Luis Castillo that just hasn't been all that good. And now he's taking on a team that doesn't strike out. I don't.
I'll tell you something else that stands out to me is because we talked about it a few weeks ago, and then progressively that we needed to see Trevor Rogers start doing it a little more consistently. And, I think we have. But yet he's still 6,700 and 7% owned, facing a team we know that can strike out a ton.
Yeah, it's going to be a super volatile matchup because that team also has a bunch of power against left-handed pitching.
Yeah.
And it's in a ballpark that is obviously elite for hitting. He did make my pitcher pool as kind of the last man in. He and Christian Scott, but kind of the last man in to where I want a sprinkle of them because I do expect Cincinnati bats to be a little more popular. But I also just don't know if the actual matchup and environment is one that allows him to continue to be strong.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I needed a few more pitchers because, I'm not playing Luis Castillo.
Playing Singer.
I'm definitely playing
on the other side of that.
The C side?
The Singer side versus
I'm definitely not playing Singer, and I think 11% of the entries are just dead if they're playing Singer today. I don't care. The guy that's had a home run problem much of the season, it kind of went away for 4 starts, and then all of a sudden it came back again last start. I have zero desire to take Brady Singer on my teams in that ballpark with 90-degree weather. And a team like the Orioles with a bunch of power. Maybe the Orioles have underwhelmed a lot of the season, but there's just so much power in that lineup that I'm not.
Yeah.
I have zero desire to click his name into a lineup because I feel like it's just donating money.
Ironically, Baltimore is the number 1 leverage stack.
I haven't not looked at it yet, but that would make sense if people are overlooking that.
And they're 18th in ownership.
Yeah, given that they have the 4th highest run total, 5th
I guess
highest.
18th ownership is going from lowest to highest. So technically they're 5th.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, to be honest, I expect when updates come throughout the day that Singer's ownership drops. I just do not see him staying double-digit ownership on DK. To me, there's no world in which he should be the 6th highest owned pitcher on DraftKings when we have 22 pitchers to choose from on this slate.
And really, name's going back up here. It's not like you have a ton of high-priced pitchers that requires you to get that 5,500.
No. And spoiler alert, there's a position that I absolutely love saving money on today, and it's not pitcher. It is the outfield. We'll get to that later. But, yeah, I just don't understand. Just like I don't understand Jose Cabrera at 9%. That, Luis Castillo at 24%. These things don't make sense to me this morning. I do if I had to put money on something, I would put money on Singer dropping. I would put money on Luis Castillo dropping in ownership as the day progresses. Because I would expect to see Gavin Williams be slightly the same, maybe a little bit better. I think Reed Detmers goes up, and I think Shohei goes up as well. I also think Logan Webb goes up from 3%. I know he's pitching in Coors, but I still like picking on Colorado with pitching. I don't know what to do with somebody like Garrett Cole. Do you have any thoughts?
Besides not playing him now. He has done nothing to warrant me putting him in my lineup right now.
I mean, the real Garrett Cole's in there, right? Like, his second start of the season back from Tommy John was absolutely dominating against a Kansas City squad that doesn't strike out all that much, and he struck out double digits. So the ceiling is there, but it hasn't been there for a while, and I don't know. I mean, I assume it's typical ups and downs from Tommy John return.
Yeah.
So I am afraid of missing out on a quote-unquote vintage Garrett Cole type start, especially if Buxton's not in the lineup. But again, like I say it often, the Twins somehow are leading the American League in runs scored. And the weather in New York looks phenomenal.
Yeah. It can be hot as piss and looks like the wind straight out 7-8 miles per hour.
Yeah. It's just, I just don't know what to do there. If you're playing any of the cheap pitchers, is the guy that you're going to try with Trevor Rogers, or is it somebody else?
Let me go by salary real quick. But I would think Trevor Rogers. I don't know why Jack Perkins' name sticks out to me, but it'd probably be of the cheapies. It could be Rogers or Perkins.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with Perkins. Reverse split's probably a decent spot, but there are some right-handed bats in the top of that Miami lineup. And we get the Marlins are coming out of Coors, but they are also going into a AAA ballpark. So I don't think it affects them as much. Probably something I should have looked into at some point, because it does seem like there's a number of teams that have come out of Coors and have gone to Sacramento right after.
Yeah, it seems like a trend that's your next stop.
So I'm curious to see what the offensive drop-off is to the first game in Sacramento.
He actually has a very low home run. I mean, he's like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like seventh best at home run projection. But they got him 4.5 innings, giving up 2 runs, 4 hits, maybe 5 Ks, walks 1.7. But just play somebody at what right now 4%. I mean, I'd be willing to go like 15, 20% on him, maybe 15%.
I think my cheap guy is Anthony K. Feels gross too, but a left-hander against Cleveland feels all right. That Cleveland ballpark is better for left-handed bats than right-handed bats, so he gets to kind of take that away. He was pretty good against Cleveland a few starts ago. I don't remember if it was 2 or 3, but I think he's the guy that I'm probably leaning towards as my sub 7K play. I mean, Trevor Rogers did, but I think I lean Anthony K over Rogers. If I go just slightly above it, I have some Christian Scott interest. I have some worry because he throws a lot of pitches early and often, walks and all that random stuff. But Atlanta looks terrible offensively. So maybe it's Christian Scott.
Yeah.
I do kind of feel like I'm just jamming, trying to force those guys in, Scott, Rogers, and K, when really I think ideally my player pool or pitcher pool wouldn't go below Jake Bennett at 7,700 against the Angels.
As I'm looking right now, I feel like I am playing Reed Dittmers in my single entry. And I don't know if I want to pay up, but I find myself more leaning towards that second pitcher being Williams or Bennett.
Yeah, I mean, I have lineups that I've hand built already with Detmers and Bennett together. Like, I like Detmers' upside.
Yeah, and you got gives you one chance at the win, or two chances at getting at least one win.
Right. I haven't really looked into his outs numbers yet, but I do like it. I'm not sure how much they're extending him. Last start was the most pitches he's thrown, I believe. I have to remember from my pitching video this morning.
I have him about 5.5 innings, 6 Ks, 1 walk. He's very low in home run odds. They got him about 2 runs.
5.5 innings is exactly, is basically 15.5 outs. So it's right there. I would lean yes over that, just because I think there's a chance that they extend him maybe another 5 to 10 pitches from his last start. So I think that gives a little bit stronger chance at, something like that and not going just 5 innings. I mean, I'm going to be way too invested in him, but also realize he has gone 6+ innings in his last 2 starts. One of those was when he struck out 9 in Coors and still went 6 innings. So he's certainly capable of doing that.
And of all the games we're looking at, I mean, the high 80s being, the lower temperatures, and we get to LA and it's going to be low 70s.
Yeah, I think it's a great spot for him. As long as he doesn't, it's going to sound bad for like a bet like that at 15.5 outs. But if he strikes out 8+, there's a chance he doesn't get over that number because of, what it takes to pick up those strikeouts. That's, the worry a little bit. If he keeps it closer to a strikeout per inning, I think there's a pretty good chance that he goes over 15.5 in that matchup. I mean, I'm certainly going to be heavily invested in Jake Bennett tonight.
9-7. Why can't I? So you're spending with those two $16K in your pitchers.
Yeah.
I mean
that feels ideal.
I mean, I need to see what that leaves you with, but I'd imagine probably over 4K.
Let's bring it up here. I mean, I have those two in a couple lineups already.
Also, remember, if you're on DK, they got the winnings boost to apply to your DFS entries.
I have a few of those.
Yeah, I got a bunch of them right now, unless they expire.
I have a few of those. A couple of them are high dollar ones, so it's annoying on some days. But yeah, if you go with Jake Bennett, you have over 4,200 per player bats after it. One of my main lineups with that combination is a Baltimore stack with a Tampa Bay mini, which means Camanero's in that lineup. So, it's Caminero and Gunner spending way up. So, yeah, that combination allows you to do a lot of things. I haven't really tried to build it, with like a Dodger stack or whatever. But
I just for giggles tried to find the most expensive player, and which is Kurtz, and you throw him in 6,500, you're still basically have 4,000 to go per player. So
yeah,
you should be able to make whatever you want.
right.
Unless you're going to try to stick the most expensive player at every position in. But.
I think I lean towards Bennett being safer. I like Reed Detmers a lot. Like, I'm probably co-president of the Reed Detmers fan club at this point. But he has walk issues, and that hurts pitch count wise. Now, with that said, like, he's gone over 17 and a half in 4 of his last 5 starts. The last start he did not. In the start before that, he got to 18 outs, but over the last 2 starts, he's also walked 7 guys in 11 2/3. So walks are a big issue for him. That's the big worry for me. Because before this stretch, like, he had a bunch of then 5 2/3, 3 2/3, 5, 4 2/3 inning starts. I don't think there's a lot to say about Reed Detmers really being safe. Upside wise, he's got much more upside than Jake Bennett, but when you get a guy like Reed Detmers who is a bit wild, it's tough to get 6+ innings out of them in today's world of baseball. So while, we kind of debate the Jake Bennett thing back and forth, like, I think he's more likely to get there than Reed Detmers at 6 innings.
And that game has the like, I was looking at first 5, and they got like the second lowest total, which, I mean, T-Mobile is that game, obviously, because that has the 2 highest owned pitchers in it. They project that to be low.
Right. Yeah, and then with the Detmers Bennett combination, like, you get similar game environments to Cease and Castillo at a fraction of the ownership.
Yeah.
It's tough to quote it because Bennett's showing 0 right now, and that won't be the case whenever we get updates to show. But at the same time, unless it did, we got an update, but it hasn't updated Bennett yet. But
I'll tell you what, if I was going to pay up, I was just saying, if I was going to pay up, I may go Ohtani over Cease.
Yeah, it's possible. I think I lean Cease, just raw wise. Yeah. Like, I feel like it's probably a better spot for Dylan Cease.
He's got a third of the ownership with Ohtani.
Yeah. That's the big thing. Like, similar projections. I just feel like Cease has the higher ceiling. So, it really all depends on how you're building out the rest of your lineup. Like, if you go super chalky the rest of the way, then maybe you don't want Cease and you want Ohtani. If you get a little more unique, you don't have to worry as much at pitcher.
FanDuel, Cease is double the number 2 pitcher, which is Gavin Williams. Like, Cease is 30%, Williams is 15, Castillo 10, Ohtani 8, whatever, Reed Detmers 5, and then just poop. I wonder what Jake Bennett's real ownership is, because it's showing 0, which I know it's not.
Yeah. We might not get that update for a few hours.
Yeah.
Which
it's
makes
hard
it tougher
to remember. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, there's often when I see oftentimes when I see the ownership when it first drop in the morning when I'm trying to do articles and all that stuff, where I can point out there's a bunch of pitchers that I know like will change massively by the time the slate starts.
You think a lot of from like people just reserving lineups with dummy lineups?
Yeah, and some of it I just don't really know. Like, yeah, some I don't understand how they come to numbers either. Like, I'm terrible at trying to configure ownership percentage because, like, in my mind, Logan Webb would be higher owned than 3% initially. Like, people just blindly would be like, all right, pick on Colorado with pitching. Even in Coors, it doesn't matter. Plus, Logan Webb's been phenomenal over the last month.
I mean, and at 3% ownership, I mean,
right. So I don't know, because like Jose Cabrera, like, why is he getting 9% ownership in just a terrible spot? Like he's kind of like an unknown pitcher. So, people shouldn't have bias towards him as a pitcher with the Diamondbacks.
What about Grant Holmes?
And the Brewers have. I mean, Grant Holmes has just been so bad.
Yeah.
They moved him to the bullpen. So now he's going to be back start. I can't get in on Grant Holmes. Papa J, I assume if you're talking about Mason Montgomery for today that the Pirates are using him as an opener because Mitch Keller is listed as the starter from what I know. I should probably look because they're not on the main slate.
The only two games
but it's
is Pittsburgh is that Washington, right? Or are they play in Chicago?
They're in Washington.
Washington. Yeah. They're that 6:40 game.
I'm just trying to look for updates here, but I haven't seen him listed as an opener or anything. But
I just made my pitcher.
I don't really want pitching in that game at all.
And I think I have 9 pitchers right now.
I should probably look at my notes. I have 10 right now, but that 9 and 10 are Trevor Rogers and Christian Scott. I mentioned it. Christian Scott's just there because the Braves have been so bad offensively. I don't really love Christian Scott all that much because I feel like you're praying that he just gets you 5 innings with the way that they've used him. But
then I feel like our pool is probably Ohtani, Cease, Williams, Webb, Detmers, Bennett, Rogers, K, Perkins.
I don't have Perkins. Perkins is the only one that I don't have. And then I swap Perkins for Christian Scott, and we're then the same.
Yeah.
I did consider Michael King a little bit. His best start of the year came against the Dodgers, but then one of his worst starts of the year came against the Dodgers too. So I don't know what to expect out of him. And a lot of the Dodgers, I was looking at this before we jumped on, but I'm going to see if I have. I'm going to bring it up on another monitor here just so I can quote myself correctly. But it's 7 of the 9 that are projected in the lineup for the Dodgers this evening have OPSs over the last week of 868 plus. 6 of those 7 have OPSs of 977 plus, and 5 of the 7 have OPSs of 1060 or higher over the last week. So the Dodgers lineup is just performing. So like it's really tough to want to put my money on Michael King, even though we know that Michael King has done it against the Dodgers lineup before. I don't know. It's kind of all I have to add about pitching. I think it's fairly straightforward. For me, it's Ohtani and Cease with Williams and Detmers at the top, kind of in that top foursome group that I think are guys that we want exposure to for sure. Then you have Jake Bennett, who's close to that, but he's a little more volatile because he's a young guy. And then you have a few guys that you kind of sprinkle in with them, right? And Trevor Rogers, if you want Christian Scott or if you want Jack Perkins, maybe Garrett Cole, and then Logan Webb. I think if the field thinks he should be owned just 3%, then I want to quadruple the field, but I expect his ownership to come up into double digits. Yeah. So I'm probably just going to be more of matching the field with Logan Webb because, some of the Rockies bats have been performing, and apparently anytime Mickey Moniak plays at home, he can homer. Jake McCarthy gets traded out of Arizona and suddenly is a very strong leadoff hitter, which is great because with Arizona, he flashed like this extra base hit machine with some stolen bases. They just thought that Alek Thomas was better than him, and now neither of those guys are on the Arizona Diamondbacks. So, pretty straightforward tiers for pitching for me.
I was just going to say real quick, FanDuel has 12 games, so they included the 645.
Oh, they did. Well, 645 game, don't worry about pitching.
Yeah. I like as Merlin Valdez if you're going to play Pittsburgh.
I mean, I guess Foster Griffin has been surprisingly strong. I just think the environment's just built for offense in that ballpark today. But Pittsburgh can have some struggles against left-handed pitching because they rely so much on left-handed bats in their main lineup. But yeah, Esmeralda Valdez sounds like a great play in that matchup.
Esmeralda Valdez has a OPS of 1504, a ISO of 650, and 3 home runs off of lefties.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't be the bat to worry about against the lefties.
Oh, they moved Mason Montgomery to the closer role? Or are they gonna go like closer by committee? Like if you're in season long stuff, I don't mind speculative ads like that when you go to committee. Because generally when teams move a guy into a role, like move him into the closer mix from different areas, like that means they think pretty highly of him and that stuff. So like it sounds kind of like they're going to give him more chances than others. So I don't mind it. Most of the leagues I play in now for season long and dynasty and stuff really just focus on like saves and holds together. So we don't really have to differentiate between closes. But in that instance, like those save hold categories, I love closer by committee teams because you can play or you can stack relievers from a team on your lineup and you got a chance to get a hold and a save out of both your guys because they might just use them in flip-flop order, so like the Brewers are a prime example, right? They tend to flip-flop Ebner, Uribe, and McGill from a closing situation. If you can roster both of those guys, like you have access to the holds and saves. And obviously Milwaukee wins a ton, so it helps out. But yeah, if they're moving Montgomery into a like closer role or in the mix, that tells me enough that they might think that he's going to get some saves. Yeah, I think didn't San Francisco remove Ryan Walker as the closer? Thought I had read somewhere that they were going to give like the closer role to Caleb Killian or something. It could be temporary, but I think I would gamble more with Mason Montgomery, just depending on your league. If holds matter at all, or if it's just strictly saves only. But yeah, I think Mason Montgomery might make a little bit more sense. He also pitches in the slightly weaker offensive division than Ryan Walker does.
I was 7-1 in my season long, and then I just kept forgetting to set my lineup, and now I'm like 7-5 or something.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm in so many that I kind of blindly just jump through them and start lineups, and then every few days maybe look to pick somebody up. So I miss out on some people that get dropped, etc. But it's just.
I feel like I have one league. I only have one baseball league, but I swear there's a couple guys in there that don't understand how the IL works. Like they'll drop a player that's on the IL, and I'll be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like I'll just grab him and stash him in my IL.
I mean, some leagues just don't have enough IL spots with the.
Yeah, I think mine has like 10 or something.
With how much teams use the IL in real life baseball, I have some leagues where I have 5 IL spots, and I'm holding on to. I have 7 guys that are on the IL. And the problem is like half of them are strong pitching. Like Hunter Green, Nick Pivetta types. So that becomes an issue. Yeah. So holds and saves counts, then it's definitely Mason Montgomery over Ryan Walker. I've generally leaned now more towards finding holds, because a lot of times closers that get demoted don't end up in like the hold situations as much. It's guys that are picking up holds and are really strong that have the chance to move into closer roles. So I think they're just in better spots to help you fantasy wise. Aside from the Caper 9 type stuff that closers generally offer.
I have 4 guys on my bench that need to go in the IL. I have 9 people in the IL.
Yeah. We've been live for 37 minutes and we have not gotten to offense, and I probably have to leave in 20 minutes. So, offense, we talked about it earlier. Elite spots, right? Yeah. Tonight, we have 4 games with totals in double figures, a 5th game that's right there that probably could get there. Who's your number 1 team this evening?
Let's see. I've been so focused on pitching. Let's see. All right, not on there. Might be Baltimore. Like the A's. Obviously, I guess you got to consider San Francisco. Love the Rays. And I get, you always got to think about the Dodgers. But I think my favorites are actually like Baltimore, Sacramento, Rays were probably my top 3.
Yeah, it's actually really tough.
For as many great spots it is, it's still like,
yeah, it's teams that are struggling kind of.
Yeah.
The Yankees have the 2nd highest run total on the slate. They've arguably been the coldest offense over the last 3 or 4 weeks. It's been really bad. And they're 2nd in run total behind a San Francisco team that for much of the season hasn't been very good. And then you have the Orioles who have underwhelmed, right? You have the Braves that over a 5-run total who have been terrible offensively the last 2 weeks. You have the Dodgers who have been great, but they're taking on Michael King, who dominated them once. You have the A's who are kind of up and down because of injuries, right? Like Rooker's now lost for the year. Soderstrom's on the IL. Wilson went back on the IL. So the bottom half of the A's lineup kind of looks gross. Marlins over 5 and the Brewers over 5. Like they're similar offenses in they just have to rely on a bunch of dudes getting on base, stealing some bases, just hits, like more BABIP wise than power wise. So it's a couple offenses that have the 5-run totals that you're like, do I really want to, rely on them when we have a slate full of projected runs? I think I'm with you
I think the 5th highest implied run total, and they're the 5th lowest owned team.
Yeah, the Dodgers lower game total, but some of that is because you can't use Shohei, right? Yeah. From an offensive standpoint, so that hurts Dodger stacks. I think I'm with you in that Baltimore is a top 2 stack for me. I think the other side of that game in Cincinnati might be a top 3 stack for me. And then it's probably the A's. And then, then it drops just slightly to the Giants and Dodgers. Then a slight drop to the Rays, because I'm still going to just keep playing a handful of the Rays guys. Cedric Mullins is on fire. Obviously, J-Cam, Aranda. Maybe they're a mini stack. The Rays are probably an elite FanDuel team. 3 since you can play Yandy, Aranda, and Caminero together on FanDuel, they probably are an excellent 4-man stack team with Cedric Mullins. I don't of the lower implied run total teams. I don't really know who. Is it the Twins that we should be playing more of?
I think so.
I mean, there's one. There's 7 teams with a sub-4 implied run total. I think the Twins are probably the best one.
Yeah.
I mean, the White Sox are probably just as dangerous, but it's a tougher matchup for the White Sox than the Twins, in my opinion, right now. Just based on the way that Garrett Cole versus Gavin Williams have been pitching.
Yeah, and of the teams in that between 5 and 4, or 5 and 3 that have 4, is really Tampa Bay. Because it could be Miami, but I'm not really interested in Miami. I really don't want to. Colorado's got 2 bats, I guess, that I like.
And they probably have you probably have a third with Goodman, McCarthy, and Moniak.
McCarthy. Yeah, sorry.
I don't mind the Astros as one that I think gets overlooked a little bit. Because I think Nick Martinez has kind of seen some regression from his hotter start to the season. Not that he's fallen off a cliff or anything, but I think he's less effective. And I think Christian Walker, Jordan, and Paredes are in great spots overall. They're hurt without Jeremy Pena, him going back on the IL. But Cam Smith ran his big games. Yainer Diaz is supposed to be something good. He's kind of struggled, but they're at home. Crawford boxes are a thing. Martinez, I think, in the past has been a little bit more reverse splits, and I think that plays into Houston a little better because Jordan just hits everybody, so it's not a big deal. And then they have a bunch of right-handed bats. So the more I talk out Houston, the more I think like they're the sneaky way to kind of win this slate tonight. I don't know where they're going to fall in my rankings. I still have to put those together before I get out the door, but I'm going to have to force them up because I kind of need a way to get unique offensively against all those high run total teams. Do you have any interest in like Arizona against Kyle Harrison?
Not particularly.
Who didn't really talk about pitching wise at all.
Yeah. I mean, other than Marte, I mean, obviously Carroll's always dangerous, but I mean, they're not doing anything.
Yeah, Marte, like Tommy Troy's hitting left-handed pitching. But yeah, like as far as Harrison goes, like Arizona just hasn't been striking out against left-handed pitching, and Harrison needs those strikeouts because he gets wild, allows some base runner.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily interested in Harrison. I'm just not interested in the offense of Arizona.
Yeah, I have more interest in Arizona offense than I do in the Cleveland Guardians offense, and that's a full run total difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I mean, I might have more interest in Arizona than I do in either offenses in Atlanta, which is weird to say considering it's going to be a 10 run total potentially, 9.5 to 10. I'm just not excited to play Braves bats right now. Not excited to play the Mets ever. But think the offenses are very top heavy. The problem is the top heavy part are teams that have been struggling, aside from the Dodgers. So I think despite there being such high totals, I think there's some volatility in which teams actually provide the runs in those games. The Yankee game, I think it's just as likely the Twins are the team that scores 6. So flip-flop those two totals. Colorado and San Francisco, like it's tougher. Like I almost give the edge to the Rockies offenses in Coors, minus it's facing Webb.
Well, yeah. That was the only problem was Webb. The San Francisco has to get 10 plus hits. It's minus 162. Cardinals is minus 142. And then the next team on the slate would be the Rockies at plus 101.
Cardinals play in Wrigley this afternoon.
That's right.
Yeah. Why don't we kind of, I don't know, go position by position here. It's almost 50 minutes in.
Yeah.
We talked about, kind of the offenses we prefer, kind of the ones that we think are undervalued. But also just talked about the fact that some of those offenses that have high totals just have struggled mightily. Yeah. So like that gives you a reason to get away from, potential high ownership of like Yankees, of Giants, of Dodgers, even of the A's. Like the Dodgers is the toughest one for me to get away from, even though they're taking on Michael King, because the Dodgers have just been so good offensively recently. Like so many dudes getting it done. But yeah, position wise, I'll let you go first, so that I can finish off with some outfield talk, because I mentioned earlier that I'm saving money in the outfield, and I'll list some guys for that. But yeah, I'll let you go first.
Catcher, I feel like it's Shea, but there's a lot of catchers I actually like today. First base, probably Alonso. Second base. Shit. Cody Clemens. I always love him. Third base. Wait, is he not playing? No, Kobe Mayo. Junior, obviously. I mean, I guess stupid for anybody else. Shortstop. I always say Gunner, but it'd be Gunner or Willie Demas. Outfield, Joe Hung Lee, my main man, Heliot Ramos. I like Dylan Beavers today, shockingly. And like I said, I'm always going to play Mickey. So.
Yeah.
And then I'm not going to go crazy in the outfield because I know that's what you got coming. So.
Yeah. Catcher's interesting. Adley and Basayo haven't been swinging it very well, but I really like Samuel Basayo today. You want to get unique. I really like either Dalton Rushing or where'd he go? Alejandro Kirk has hit Luis Castillo really well, and he's going to be overlooked. He's just 3K. So for his hitting ability to have 3K at catcher allows you to save a little bit of money as well, plus the outfield spot. At first base, unfortunately, my favorite guy is the chalkiest in Rafael Devers. He's just too cheap going into Coors, plus he's been swinging it pretty well recently. If chalk isn't your thing, and you're more interested in guys that have struggled a little bit more recently but have a ton of upside, Ben Rice, or Christian Walker is probably another guy that I think surprises. Second base, you mentioned Cody Clemens. I like that play quite a bit. I'll stick with Luis Ariz just because he just hits, and I think this is a pretty good ballpark for him. The spacious outfield. I think we talked about it at one point. Like San Francisco has helped him increase his extra base hits because of that ballpark. Colorado kind of fits into that. So
second base, watch out for a Jackson Holiday home run today.
Jackson Holiday is in my Baltimore stack. You want to get unique? Jake Cronenworth against Shohei Ohtani.
Is he like free still?
I mean, he's what is he? Yeah, he's 2,100. He's 3 for 3 with a home run and 2 doubles against Shohei Ohtani. Third base, like J-Cam is far and away my favorite, like you mentioned, because he went from uber chalk the last few days to going 0 for last night to now all of a sudden being sub 6%. So for me, that feels like a great buy opportunity. Otherwise, Sal Stewart, one of my favorite bats on the slate against the lefty. Just a ton of power against left-handed pitching. Shortstop, Gunner probably was the favorite, but since you took him, man, shortstop is a position I don't love overall. I mean, it's probably Mookie because he's been so solid. I don't really have any creative shortstop plays on this slate. Outfield, man. I mentioned some value options here on this slate, but one of them, Garrett Mitchell's absolutely on fire for the Brewers. He's from Southern California, pretty close to Arizona. Like kind of a area for him. So I think I like the upside there for Garrett Mitchell at just 3,100. Sal Frelick, same team, not the same power upside, but like just getting hits to the same degree that Mitchell has been. Should be overlooked quite a bit. What else do we have? I have to head to my notes for a little bit here. You get Cedric Mullins still at $3,400, who has 4 home runs over the last week. You get David Fry from Cleveland, who is facing a left-handed pitcher. If you remember a couple years ago, David Fry made the All-Star game strictly because in the first half he absolutely destroyed left-handed pitching. Like, that's the only reason he made the All-Star game, because he rarely played against right-handed pitchers. He's also homered in back-to-back games coming in. So David Fry stands out a ton for me. I mentioned him earlier, Tommy Troy, OPS of 1226 against left-handed pitching. Colby Thomas of the A's, who I think they're giving him a few more at-bats even against right-handed pitching, since they have outfield injuries. OPS of 1188 and team-leading 5 RBI over the last week. All of these guys save, Cedric Mullins is 3,400. The other guys that I listed are all $3,100 or less at the outfield position. And I think there was somebody who I didn't have in my notes yet Spencer Jones, if he is in the lineup, he's been dealing with something, has performed at Yankee Stadium. And with that weather, at short porch, I think Spencer Jones is a sneaky double dong candidate on this slate. I don't know. Do you have any dong calls this early for anybody, or are we good to call it? And
so always Mickey at home. Love Shea. Like I said, I think Holiday hits one. I like JJ Weatherholt, the aforementioned Spencer Jones, and Nelson Velasquez, and James Wood. I think we see a lot of home runs in that game, that Washington game. Dylan Cruz, Luis Garcia.
Luis Garcia makes a ton of sense. The way that he's been swinging it.
Yeah.
So does Pete Crow Armstrong and Michael Busch in that earliest game as well.
And Bush has got that history too.
Yeah. There's going to be some home runs tonight.
Yeah. Especially in the day games. I say get your pitching tonight and play your batters from the earlier games and save your pitching for those last 3,
I think because there's going to be enough offense in a bunch of places, I think pitching is the most important part of tonight.
Yeah.
Because I don't see just one team scoring 12 and then the rest of the team scoring, 6 or fewer. I think you're going to see a number of teams score in the 8 to 12 range, to where that pitching is probably going to matter the most. Feels like this last week I've said where bats have mattered more than pitching. Finally back on the pitching train this evening. So it feels good to say that. But we're going to call it, going to get out of here so I can get started on festivities. Tattoo might get started on festivities. Hopefully you guys are enjoying
I started
Friday.
like 8:30 this morning. So.
I just have Pepsi for now, but
I am going to probably take a nap until, then get re-going.
So, we're getting out of here. This was recorded early so you guys can watch it throughout the day. I appreciate the people that were here asking questions. Papa Dre, Drago didn't ask any questions because he sucks. King Cabano. Chuck was here. Sorry, Chuck, I missed your happy Friday. Cujo here as well. If you're watching this kind of later in the day, hit up the coaches in Discord. Probably won't be me if I get tagged. Just warning you ahead of time. If you're not a member of DFS Army and you want to join us, there's a link in the description. You can use promo code RAZ or Tattoo for 10% off MLB packages, or Best Ball 2026 gets you 20% off any NFL or VIP Core 4 membership. The Core 4 does include baseball, so you do get access to us as well. If you are members, hit up Discord. Show off some screenshots of winnings plus, beverages.
There was a bunch this morning, I think, when I got in there.
Food spread. Yeah, I kind of checked out because unfortunately there are some toxic people in Discord.
Well, yeah.
So I don't enjoy toxicity. So
unless it's system of down.
I exit out of Discord once that starts happening. But yeah, that's all we got. Everybody be safe. Enjoy your weekend.
We don't need negativity in our lives.
Yeah. We'll be back on Monday. Generally expected to be the normal time. Yeah. And I'll be around this weekend in Discord off and on. We'll have content all weekend long. I'm rambling. We're getting out of here. I need a drink.
USA.
See you guys.
USA. Woo!
Got the best coaches in the game. We really ain't playing. We regroup up in the Slack chat where the coaches debrief. We be piecing these puzzles, occupy the chunk of the pie. Ain't no lie when we hit the block. Helmets casket is top. You be seeing helmet after helmet, helmet after helmet. First place, second place, fifth place, eighth place, 12th place, 15, 16, 20. So many helmets, you got blurred vision. We got too many. Get your check. Oh man, shit. They got us fucked up. Army, regroup. We pledge always to have that edge. We don't fire warning shots. Competition just dropped. We locked and loaded before lock. Whatever the time, yeah. Do you even correlate?
Being the best requires a willingness to outwork your competition. There's always someone smarter, faster, sharper.